Hi everyone, it's Cassie, the Young Teen Librarian at East Hampton Library. Today, for our virtual Make and Take craft, I'm going to show you how to make a faux stained glass picture. So for that, you will need a picture frame. So I have a little 4x6 photo frame here. This is the type of photo frame where the glass, like there's no border, so the glass pops out from the front. Markers, of course, for that. So this you will specifically need. Now, if you're, and I'm going to show you, if you're, pop it out, if it would cooperate. Oh, come on. There we go. If the backing, because you can see, of course, this is just, you can throw that away. But this backing is very dark colored, so we're going to need a light background. So for that, if you have a picture frame that has a dark, like, background holding it in, you're going to need to find a light colored cardstock. So I have kind of like a, it's not pure white, it's more of like a lightish gray, like a white gray color. So I traced it to the glass and then trimmed it as needed, and that is going to be our backing. So I'm going to put the other stuff aside. So that will be the backing inside this picture frame. So once I put the glass back in, you would be able to see the pattern I drew. And if you have to do the route of using the cardstock, you would need something to trace it and scissors to cut it out. So I used those for that. Now, it's pretty simple. What you're going to have to do is we're going to pretty much draw on this piece of glass with our markers. Now, these are fine point markers. Now, because you don't want it to be on the you don't want the pattern to be drawn on the outside of the glass, because it's more easily could get scratched off or rubbed off. There's more of a chance of that happening. But, so that means you have to put it on the inside of the glass. So depending on what you're drawing, if you're drawing like words, you would have to draw them backwards. So for this to say, like, for example, love, for this to say L-O-V-E, let's say this is the outside of the glass, I would have to draw it on the inside of the glass and draw like a backwards L. O's easy, a V, and then a backwards E. O and V would be fine. But for me, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be kind of trying my hand at making a sunset. So I'll kind of get my markers out. And now I'm going to make a sunset that's coming up over grass. So I'm going to use a bunch of different colors for that. But to start, I'm going to use black, because if you've ever noticed, like with actual stained glass, there's the metal. There's like the metal in between each pane of stained glass. So this will be representing that metal insert in between. I'm going to kind of keep it simple. I'm not going to go crazy with patterns. And then we're going to have our sun. And then we're going to have the rays from the sun extending out into the sky. So far, that's kind of cool. A nice pattern. And then we're going to take our greens that we have in here. So these three greens, we're going to alternate between them. And actually, I'm going to run over my black lines just a little bit more to kind of darken them up a bit. And also thicken them just a slight bit, because with like stained glass, I want to make sure that the black line, which is supposed to represent, you know, of course, the metal, is going to actually stand out. There. The nice thing about this particular pattern is that it doesn't matter whether I drew it right side, whether I drew it backwards or not. It will look fine either way. So I will come back to this. I might make a pattern within here, within the sun part itself, but we will see. What I might do is just do a bunch of different colors and not actually use this to make outlines. But for now, we are going to just kind of color the insides of each of the squares with our markers. Now, granted, some of these markers are not going to show up as dark because they're a lighter color. But that's the whole point of using a lighter colored papers, because when I put it in front of it, certain colors will be very noticeable, and it will bring, like, certain colors like the dark green will pop out more, but then you'll still be able to see the other colors on a lighter background. I'm gonna color our green. Now, I saw someone do that. Someone did a stained glass, a faux stained glass pattern, which they did on glass. So they did it on glass and they had a picture frame, and then they put the glass, something similar. But what they did is that for where I used the black marker to make the lines, they used black puffy paint to make those lines. And then for the stained glass part, they mixed clear glue with food coloring and then painted that on. The annoying thing is sometimes with marker, it, like, when it dries, it catches and then it like swipes away what I've already colored. So this can make it a bit difficult to build up color if you have like a really light color. But you can kind of tell that they're colored. So there's our green. I'm still contemplating what I want to do with the sun, because I know that yellow is going to be like really light, and I don't want to a little bit of issues with this one. I think it's because I'll come back to that one. I think it's because I had it sitting out and it's a lighter colored marker. Okay. There we go. Our final color. Okay, so that is sort of our there we go. There we go. Okay. So we will set those aside for now. We have our, you know what? I decided I'm going to keep all of this simple at the top. I'm not going to go crazy trying to color it. Actually, that will look pretty cool on there. So I'm going to stick with that. And then we will use colors to get the rest of it. I'm just trying to build up the color. That's pretty cool. So yeah, that will eventually look. Whoop. Okay. Now we're going to use red. Actually, you know what? I'm going to stick with a blue, yellow, green theme. That's what I'm going to do. All right, so we're going to do blue over here. And then we're going to do this one. But blue is a bit dark, but it will look pretty cool. And then this color. And then our next color. Oh, wow. That is really light. Yeah, we're not going to use that one. We're just going to go with these because I could barely even see that color. All right, so just so I know where everything's going, we're going to do that one there. This one is C. Oh, this one ended up being over here anyway. These are pretty cool, these colors. Not bad markers either. They seem to work pretty well. You just gotta be careful with this dark one because this blue is so dark. We don't want to accidentally trace over the black line because then it would kind of ruin the effect. Okay. This one's, you know, more of like a teal type color. Like a green and blue. Okay. Now this is the side that it's going to be seen through because, as I said, we don't want this, we don't want the side with the marker to be on the outside. We want it to be on the inside. So that's the thing of keeping it in mind, especially if you're doing something that's going to look different, that's going to look weird backwards, like letters. All right. Have it. So I'm just going to let it dry a little bit while I put my markers away, but then we're going to put it into the frame. I use Ziploc bags for everything. I find it so convenient because I can just portion things out. It also makes it a lot more, like, I think these markers came in like this long tray that had them like all in like their own little holder. But the problem is that that's so more bulky. This is a lot, this bag takes up a lot less space. So, all right. So that is our marker side. This is the smooth side. So now, oh, let me make sure. Yep. The back of this particular frame has two little hooks. So I wanted to make sure that I was putting it in with that hook up. And look at that. That is so cool. And because you have the solid background, like a white color on the background, it helps these colors to pop more because it's not, especially if they're a lighter color. But that is like really cool. So that is kind of a unique craft idea, and most of us are probably going to have some random picture frame just lying around that we haven't like used in years. And this is a nice, cute little way to put art on your wall. So I hope that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you have a great rest of your day. Bye.